Hi, I'm Dr. Miner. Welcome back to my video series on do you want to heal fast or slow? Now, we've covered a lot of things already. We've talked about nutrition, water, food, talked about what kind of pills to take. Today we're going to talk about the second part of exercise. We talked about how to get some of the flexibility back through increasing the range of motion. Remember, the key to that is find that Goldilocks area, that Goldilocks zone where you're pain-free, but you're moving that joint. And that's going to keep you from getting hurt, but at the same time, it's going to build on what you've lost. It's going to build on what you have, I should say, to recover what you've lost. So today we want to talk about strengthening. Now remember, there's 4 parts to being in shape. Strength, flexibility, balance, and endurance. I'm laughing because I saw this comedian one time and he said, my wife, he said, she tells me to get in shape. And I said, round is a shape, honey. And peach is not a color, it's a fruit. I don't know, I like comedians. So getting back here though, we got to be in shape. We are a soul and a spirit, right? And our body is what interacts with our environment. It's what lets us do everything that we want to do as a spirit, that we can go and do what we want to do. We've got to be in shape. We need strength, flexibility, balance, and endurance. Now you want to remember that each time any exercise is going to work on all of these. Any exercise is going to build your endurance. It's going to build up your energy making organs in your cells, the mitochondria. They can actually build and increase in size to put out more energy. And when you don't use them, they shrink and put out less energy. So it's really important that we can make energy. And it's key. When you get hurt, you don't feel like moving, so you have to force yourself a little bit. So we talked about flexibility by moving everything in its range of motion, whether it's your low back or it's your neck. And that helps flexibility, but you also take strength to move those, so you're doing that as well. Now, we want to talk about the range of motion here in your arms and legs. You know that when you hurt your neck, it also affects your shoulders because all of these muscles attached to the shoulder here. You hurt your low back, it'll affect your legs. You hurt your legs, it'll affect your low back. So doing the arm and leg ranges of motion is really important, even for neck injuries or for low back injuries. Everything's connected. We are so well put together. I often say we're more well connected than the mafia. So arms and legs, to strengthen, basically you're doing the range of motion exercises in your Goldilocks zone, in that green light zone, but you're adding some light weights to it. So you're doing this. And you're going to do both sides always. Just continue with the same amount of repetitions. This is a 5-pound weight. You probably want to use a 1-pound weight. You can use a can of soup. You can use a 1-pound bag of beans or rice. Anything like that will work to give you a little bit of weight. Or you can use these bands, TheraBands. Many of you have seen these. You can probably pick them up at Walmart or Rite Aid or any of those stores, drugstores, CVS. And you can do those to increase, you're doing the range of motion, but you're adding a little bit of tension. And what does the tension do? It lines up that scar tissue. And you're putting tension on the muscles. The muscle fibers are going to enlarge. They're going to get stronger. So by doing that in your range of motion now, you're doing all the things we said we're going to do. You're going to increase the muscle mass, which makes you stronger, which gives you more endurance. You're going to build the scar tissue up properly. You're adding extra tension on there. So you're going to strengthen the scar. You're going to direct the movement of the healing, so you'll get it healing in the right direction instead of those cross-linked fibers in there. So all this is very important. When it comes to the neck now, how do we do that? You can use the bands. You can put the bands back behind your head. I'm not going to do it. But I don't like doing that because it slips off and hits you in different stuff. We don't want that. The best way to do it is to use isometric exercises, where isometric is just the opposite of range of motion. You're not moving, you're holding it steady. The key here is to tuck your chin in so you're in a neutral spine, and you put your hands here and you push. Now, a lot of people want to do this, which is the opposite of what you want. You want to stimulate these muscles in their proper alignment. So you can see me like this. You don't want this, you want this. This type of motion, that's exactly what you want. I had a patient, this is a young girl, she's about 15 years old, just an insolent brat, and she was with her mother, and she was giving her mother a hard time, she's giving me a hard time, she had headaches, and I said, well, these muscles back here are really a problem, so let's do these isometric exercises. So I showed her how to do them. I even put the pressure on her head myself, but I taught her how to do it herself in the back, in the sides, and in rotation. And she came in a week later and said, basically, you're an idiot. You didn't say that, but that's what she was thinking, what she wanted to say. Those exercises made me worse. And she's all mad at her mom. She's mad at her mom. My mom brought me here. Anyway, it was really kind of funny. And I said, well, they usually work for people. Let's see what happens. So show me how you do those. So here's what she did. See, it hurts. And so what she was doing was the exact opposite of what you want to do. And she's then strengthening the muscles in the wrong position and making these muscles tighter and tighter. So when your head's in neutral like this, your chin is tucked in, and these muscles are as long as they can be, and these muscles are shortened up like they're supposed to be. And when you're pushing on that, you get the strengthening in the right alignment of the joints and the muscles. So it's huge. So that's a key thing. Now, to do the side muscles, to do lateral flexion, you just hold it like this. I like to put both hands up here so it keeps me in neutral instead of going over like this. So you're pushing, and I'm pushing that way just a little bit. And make sure my chin is tucked here. And I'm pushing. And I'm going to hold this for anywhere from 5 to 10 seconds. I'm not trying to kill myself. I'm not trying to fatigue those muscles. I'm just trying to activate them and get them lining up properly so that the scar tissue is going this way instead of every which way. And I do the same thing on the other side. Now I'm pushing that way. I should tuck my chin again. I get distracted talking to you. Now for rotation, I slide one hand up and one hand back, and now I'm pushing my head that way, this way, and I'm resisting it in rotation here with both hands. And then I'll go to the other side and resist it, turning my head to my left. And that's going to get all those muscles in the neck lining up properly, and it teaches them what to do. Basically what we're doing is we're activating these muscles that get turned off neurologically. It reintroduces that brain-body connection. And by doing that, you're activating that connector, those connector nerves to make it work right. You're organizing the scar tissue, you're decreasing the atrophy, so the muscles are getting stronger, and you're going to reduce the spasms at the same time. So this is how you strengthen it. Now, these are not every exercise you're ever going to do. These are the first aid exercises. When you first get hurt, you want to do these exercises at home, okay? Now for the low back, I put my drawing skills to a test here. Low back strengthening, you want to use planks. Now, you got to remember that these are core muscles and they're postural muscles. People are doing sit-ups all the time to get a six-pack. Well, when do you do this? You know, there are sometimes you do it. I was talking to one guy, a plumber. He goes, well, I'm under a house sometimes. I'm up like this using these muscles here. I go, well, that's true. But generally speaking, we're not cracking walnuts with doing sit-ups with our abs. They're postural muscles. They're going to hold us up. These muscles here are abdominal muscles. These are abdominal muscles. These are abdominal muscles. And so you want to put yourself in a position of using those muscles as much as just standing alone is using your postural muscles. And if you just tighten up your stomach, your abdominal muscles, these right here, you're tightening up all of this around here. You can feel it all tightens up. That's an exercise. Just standing. If that's all you can do is just stand and tighten your stomach muscles up, then you're doing a good job. That's maybe the first thing you want to do. So they're best strengthened in a static posture. So getting in a push-up position, my beautiful artwork here. He's kind of smirking, but anyway, this being in that push-up position is going to activate all those muscles holding you in that posture. Otherwise, your belly will just drop down to the ground because those muscles are too weak. Now, It actually helps to do it on your knees if you can't do it. I have some people with bad feet and they have to do it on their knees. Or you can do it up against a wall. You can see the wall here. You can lean here. You can lean farther out. His arms grew too, as you see. His nose grew too, come to think of it. Anyway, you can move out from that, or you can use a chair or the kitchen sink. I can make this a kitchen sink. No, I won't do that. So using the chair, the kitchen sink, something to lean on to give you the strain a little bit on that. You're not trying to strain it where it hurts again. Like if it hurts too much to be in this position, try right here, and then gradually move your feet out farther until you're getting more and more of a tension on those muscles in there, and that'll help you quite a bit to build that. Okay, so that's how we do our strengthening with the bands, with a little bit of weight. You can use the bands on your legs, on your feet, moving them in all those different directions. We'll have some of this in the handout. Remember this, any exercise is good unless it hurts you. So you don't want to do anything that's going to cause you to damage your joints, damage your muscles, damage the ligaments, tendons, or any of that. Just do anything, whether it's walking. Walking is a great exercise. It gets the circulation going, and that's always great. So try to do something every hour when you're in this first aid mode, when you first get hurt. Now, you don't need to do that your whole life, although it's not a bad idea, especially if you're seated a lot, working at a computer a lot, to do something every hour to get up and move, even just reach for the sky and stretch a little bit. Those are all great exercises to keep your body moving, because we're not designed to sit all day. So something every hour, planks for this, isometrics for the neck, and you'll find that you'll get stronger and stronger. That'll increase your endurance. It will increase your flexibility because you now have more freedom to move. The muscles are stronger, able to move, and you'll build balance side to side. So it's all a great thing here. All right, next time we'll come back. We'll talk about how to use ice and heat. So we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye now.